arranged the perfect birthday gift for my husband, a night with another woman. But when I saw them together, I realized this wasn't just for him, it was for me too. Before we continue with the story, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content. Your support is greatly appreciated. I stood in the doorway of our dimly lit living room, watching her with my husband. The stranger, Sophia, had an effortless grace about her. She sat perched on our leather couch, legs crossed, fingers loosely draped over one knee. The way she held his gaze, steady and unflinching, sent a slow heat curling through my stomach. My husband, Daniel, glanced at me, his hazel eyes flickering with uncertainty. But Sophia didn't let him waver. A single touch of her hand on his wrist grounded him, her thumb tracing a slow circle over his pulse point. This was his gift. Or so I'd told myself when I arranged it. I stepped forward, the click of my heels too loud in the quiet room. Sophia's gaze slid to me, dark and knowing. "How long have you been doing this?" I asked. 6 years, she said. Maybe 7. Her voice was smooth, unhurried. I studied her, the way she occupied space like she belonged there, the way her lips curved just slightly at the corners, as if she was in on a secret I hadn't yet uncovered. "And you don't mind being watched?" Her smile deepened. "Not at all. I like when someone's paying attention." The way she said it, low, deliberate, made my breath catch. Daniel shifted, his fingers flexing against his thigh. I could see the tension in him, the way his body hummed with anticipation. "You ever work with couples?" I asked. "Plenty." Sophia tilted her head. "But it always depends on who's really in charge." I raised an eyebrow. "And who do you think that is?" Her eyes never left mine. "You." A thrill shot through me. I uncrossed my legs deliberately, letting the hem of my dress ride higher. Sophia's gaze flicked down, then back up, but she said nothing. Just waited. "And if I only want to watch?" I murmured. "Then I'll make sure you don't miss a thing." The promise in her voice sent a shiver down my spine. I stood, retrieving the envelope from my bag, cash, as we'd agreed. When I handed it to her, her fingers brushed mine, lingering just a second too long. "I'll text you the details," I said. She nodded, rising gracefully. As she passed me on her way out, her perfume, something warm and spicy, wrapped around me. Then she was gone, leaving only the ghost of her presence and the weight of what was to come. That evening, Daniel moved over me in bed, his body familiar and solid. His hands gripped my hips, anchoring me as I arched against him. "You're distracted," he murmured against my throat. I wasn't. Not really. But my mind kept drifting back to Sophia, the way she'd looked at me, the way she'd known. I guided Daniel's rhythm with my hands, my hips, my breath. When he groaned above me, his forehead dropping to my shoulder, I let myself get lost in the sensation. After, as we lay tangled in the sheets, he traced idle patterns over my bare arm. "Was that my early birthday gift?" he asked, voice rough. I turned my head, pressing a kiss to his shoulder. "Just a preview." Golden evening light spilled through the windows when Sophia arrived the next day. She settled onto the couch like she'd been there 100 times before. "Where is he?" she asked. "On his way home." She hummed, tilting her head. "Does he know?" I shook my head. "He's been guessing all day." A knowing smile curved her lips. The front door opened. Daniel froze mid-step when he saw her. "Is this your surprise?" I confirmed. Sophia stood, crossing the room with liquid grace. She cupped his face, her thumb brushing his lower lip. Then she kissed him, slow, deep, deliberate. Daniel's sharp inhale was all the confirmation I needed. In our bedroom, I watched from the armchair as Sophia undressed Daniel with practiced ease. Every button she unfastened, every inch of skin she revealed, was a study in control. When she finally pressed him back onto the bed, climbing over him with effortless confidence, I felt the first real pang of want. Not just to watch, but to join. My breath hitched as her hips rolled against his. Daniel's hands gripped her waist, his head falling back against the pillows. I shifted, my thighs pressing together. Sophia's gaze flicked to me. Held. Something unspoken passed between us. Then, without breaking eye contact, she lifted herself off Daniel and extended a hand to me. I took it. What followed was a blur of skin and heat and whispered words. Sophia's mouth on mine, then Daniel's. Her hands guiding mine to his body, then to hers. The three of us moving together in a rhythm that felt inevitable. When it was over, when we lay tangled and spent in the wreckage of the sheets, Daniel turned his head to look at me. "Happy birthday," I whispered. His laugh was breathless. "Best gift ever." Sophia's fingers traced idle patterns over my hip. "Told you were in charge." I smiled. And for the first time, I believed her. The gift. The bedroom air hung thick with the scent of sweat and skin, the three of us tangled in the aftermath. Daniel's fingers traced idle circles on my hip, his breathing still uneven. Sophia lay curled against my other side, her dark hair fanned across my chest. I turned my head to catch her gaze. "Was it what you expected?" She smiled, that slow, knowing curve of lips I'd come to recognize. "Better." Daniel propped himself up on one elbow, studying us both with a mix of awe and amusement. "I feel like I should be asking if this was some kind of test." I laughed, running a hand through his tousled hair. "No test. Just a gift." Sophia's fingers trailed up my arm. "Though I think we all got something out of it." The truth of it settled over me like warmth. This hadn't just been about watching, or even about joining. It had been about seeing Daniel in a new light, seeing myself through Sophia's eyes, seeing the unspoken possibilities between us. Daniel pressed a kiss to my shoulder. "So, does this mean we get to do it again next year?" Sophia's laugh was low and rich. "If you're lucky." I reached for her hand, threading our fingers together. "Maybe sooner." The promise hung in the air between us, electric and alive. Outside, the city lights blurred into the night. But here, in this room, everything was crystalline. Perfect. Daniel's lips found mine, then Sophia's. And for the first time in years, I felt not like a wife, not like a lover, but simply myself, unbound, unraveled, and utterly, completely free.